Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today for Friday, June 18th, 2021. The man they call Meathead and the gentleman, the Kentucky gentleman, referred to as Matthew Thomas. Have you ever been called a Kentucky gentleman, or are you the Virginia gentleman?
About 5 seconds ago, I was actually called a Kentucky gentleman.
Or are you the Carolina gentleman, or are you the Colorado Springs gentleman?
I'm just I'm not Colorado Springs. I'm a little bit north of Colorado Springs, more towards the Denver metro
You're
area.
like an LA rat. You've been everywhere, man. You've been everywhere, man.
I think just gentleman works. There's no need to put labels on me, other than the label of gentleman.
Okay. Yeah, there's no need to put labels on me other than the label of gentleman.
Exactly.
All right. Hey, do you mind labeling our sponsor for the day and telling us who's going to sponsor this show?
Well, that'd be the sponsor called Collar and Elbow Brand, available at collarandelbowbrand.com, where you can pick out from their wide selection of various clothing materials for all of your clothing needs. And you can save money while you're doing so by entering promo code Linda K, and that's Linda, Linda, K is spelled K-A-Y. So there's not two K's in there, but it's K-A-Y. So I said K, but I was talking about the K-Y part, not another K. So Linda.
Whoa, did you just say Linda K and K-Y?
Linda K, Lindakay. And that gets you the money. You save the money, and then you can, do whatever you want to with the money. You can even convert it over to
slide on over. Yeah.
Yeah. You can even convert it to Thomas Tender.
Thomas Tender. I was thinking KY and then slide, but that's, apparently the way, you were thinking of it. So.
Oh, like the slip and slide.
Yeah, that's exactly what
I never had a slip and slide. My parents are always afraid that I would hurt myself, and they're probably right.
Well, I mean, you're used to having balls just landing in your lap, so.
That's very true, especially CJ's.
CJ's, yeah. All right, let's talk a little news before we get into a breakdown of what's going on tonight on Dynamite and Smackdown. The WWE, there is talk that they're going to do what they can to hold on to Aleister Black. Aleister Black, I think, is a very hot commodity, and if he were to wrestle somewhere not WWE, I'm not saying just AEW, I'm saying NWA, I'm saying, Impact Wrestling, I think Aleister Black is an absolute star. I really think he needs to just stay off all the socials and let the price war go up on him.
No, absolutely. And man, if they do bring him back into the fold, you look at this from a couple different angles. You can say good on WWE for swallowing their pride and actually going and getting these guys back. But again, at the same time, this would make another one in addition to Joe where we're letting you go, oh, just kidding. Not really. We're going to bring you back. It's a very, very odd situation WWE's in right now. It really is.
To quote
and
Zohan.
I don't, in my recent memory, I don't remember anything that's been this quick of a turnaround where it's you're released.
No. I'll go back a few years, and I'll go back to somebody that got a release for choking out a ring announcer and showed up at SummerSlam.
No, you're exactly right. Yep, that's as soon as you said it, and that whole situation was still. That's still a very, very interesting situation to me. That was crazy, man.
Yeah, and Daniel Bryan was taking bookings at that time too, so he ended up showing up at I want to say it was a Ring of Honor show at some sort of random building on the east side of Milwaukee. I mean, in front of a couple hundred people. So he honored all his independent bookings that he took, and when he got brought back in, after that SummerSlam, he still was not able to travel with the WWE because he still had independent bookings that he had to. So I mean, either it was legit that it happened that way, or they wanted to honor the angle and let him, just still show up at these other shows.
Meathead, that's one thing to this day I still don't know. I still have a lot of questions about that angle just because it was so. You stop and think about it, man. I mean, that was in a lot of ways, it was a couple of years prior to the Yes movement proper, if you will, but that's really what really started to create a lot of that groundswell around Daniel Bryan.
That's exactly, I mean, I don't think it was planned this way. That part was not planned at all. What they did is they caught lightning in a bottle and they rode that lightning like Wonder Woman catching it with a lasso of truth.
Because quintessentially, I mean, that was him coming up to the main roster as part of Nexus. And then when he returned, and I believe it was SummerSlam, he was Cena's buddy and he took on the Nexus. So that was the breakaway from the Nexus right there into, that single star Daniel Bryan.
Right. I mean, he already had that built-in heat with, The Miz, which was already there. So we could go on about that, but I'm not going to. Go ahead and watch the Nexus special on the Peacock because it is out there. Hey, guess what we've got today, Matthew? It's been a while since we've had it, and, to be honest, when wins and losses are supposed to matter, it kind of doesn't help you when you don't have your rankings updated, but AEW has updated their rankings. As of Wednesday, June 16th, here are the official AEW rankings for the men's, women's, and tag team championships. The champion, Kenny Omega, is 5-0 in 2021. He might have been 5-0 20 years ago.
Yeah, he's got that big match with Hal coming up.
Yeah, that's it. So in 2021, Kenny Omega 5-0. The TNT champion, Miro, is 8-0 in 2021. Now, the number one contender, and he will have a match next week against Kenny Omega on a Saturday night version of Dynamite. It's Jungle Boy. Oh, 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 oh. No doubt that Kenny Omega is probably going to retain in that one. Here is something, Matthew, we know about his one loss. It was to Brian Cage. The number 2 ranked singles competitor, again, is Hangman Adam Page at 10-1.
At least they're consistent. At least he didn't lose to Cage and then just disappear to forget about him for a little while. I mean, at least this does make some storyline sense. You just gotta wonder when they're going into that angle. I still think it's a few months away, but who knows?
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Assuming that Hangman Adam Page continues to win and Jungle Boy loses to Kenny Omega, that should put Hangman Adam Page back at number 1 again. Does Hangman Adam Page then have to have another loss?
Yeah. That's if you want to. I think you've at least got to get to the September pay-per-view before you do it. So you got to do something. I don't even know if you do that, Meathead, or if you have somebody take him out, man. I mean, maybe he moves up to that number 1 spot.
Or maybe works in the tag team for a little bit.
Yeah, or maybe the Bucks or somebody take him out. I think you've got to do it in front of fans, and I personally would like to see it at Full Gear, which I believe is in November.
Hey, here's a match to put together. The recently announced Arthur Ashe Stadium.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do that as well. I mean, where does it at this juncture? Yeah, I think you're either going to have it in September at Arthur Ashe or at Full Gear. I mean, I think it happens before 2021's out. But I'd like several months of groundswell where you get back in front of people and you get that Hangman reaction like he got, a month or so ago at the pay-per-view. I think that's one of the things that I'm really looking forward to AEW getting back on the road is seeing that natural, synergistic build of Adam Page.
The natural what? Synergistic?
Yeah, synergistic. That's my word of the day. Anytime somebody says synergistic, you scream real loud.
Wow. Okay, well, hey, number 3 in the singles is Darby Allin at 10-1. His only loss is TNT title loss. Number 4, 9-1-1, is Orange Cassidy. And number 5, making his first appearance in the top 5 of the men's rankings, Powerhouse Hobbs.
You know what I'd really like to see now that you mentioned that? I'd like to see Darby go up against Hangman. And you can't do it in a heelish way, but I would like to see Sting maybe inadvertently, maybe not inadvertently helping him out, and that be the bridge. Darby picking up the win, that being the bridge between Hangman's title push is actually some kind of way to figure out a Hangman program with Sting. I know, your legend face and your, building face. Yeah, you got to keep them both face. You can't have Sting necessarily do.
Honestly, baby face.
Yeah. But, man, Maybe that's what you do. Maybe you set him and Darby up, but you have Hangman say, "No, I want you, Sting," and you actually have a Hangman Sting program.
Okay.
Welcome back to Fantasy Booking with Matthew Thomas.
Let's talk women. The champion Britt Baker, DMD, is 11-1 in 2021. The number one contender, the hater of cheeseburgers, Nyla Rose, 14-2. Tay Conte at 16-3. She is getting work done. It's June, and she's got 19 singles matches already. Thunder Rosa, big fan of hers. 15. Go ahead.
It's a strange deal with Nyla Rose and Britt. I don't know if this is supposed to be a double turn. It's hard to pull off a double turn.
Double cheeseburgers, what it was.
Over cheeseburgers, yeah. This, as much credit as the AEW women's division should be getting, this just feels strange right now. I think Britt Baker is definitely a future face. I don't think this is the way to do it.
It won't happen in this feud at all. This will be a one-off match.
Yeah.
Britt Baker goes over Nyla Rose on that. Thunder Rosa 15-2. How she's ranked in number 4, Hikaru Shida at 5-1. Here's the thing that blows me away. Now Britt Baker is 11-1. She had 12 matches, but she had just become champion. I guess when you're the champion, you don't have to defend the belt as much.
Yeah. No, that's
because Kenny Omega is only 5-0 in 2020.
Yeah, that seems to be the precedent, which I like because, you're a champion of, any other combat sport, or even you go back to, the NWA days. Yeah, they were burning up the road, but as far as your champion wasn't wrestling on TV every week,
Right.
And I like that. I say, if you've got a champion, I could honestly, at the very least in WWE, and it's pretty much what they do more or less with their monthly pay-per-views, but I could even go as far with your with your AEW champion, not just defending that thing on pay-per-views. If it's 2 or 3 months, it's 2 or 3 months, man. I think there's something to that.
Hikaru Shida overall in AEW 39-9. So
Wow.
She just didn't wrestle here in 2021, apparently.
Yeah.
In 2021, the number 5 ranked women's competitor Chris Statlander is 7-0.
Interesting. I mean, that's been her build has been much more with her being pals with the best friends than anything with her individual, with her individual career. And that's where this gets a little bit strange. You've got so much stuff taking place on YouTube. You've got so much stuff that the main audience is not seen. So that's why in a lot of cases like that, where you have a Statlander or somebody moving up the ranks, you're not seeing her on a weekly basis. And you're you're watching the scroll underneath, and a lot of these records are being padded because they're wrestling enhancement talent. So in a lot of ways, I like the fact that they're having a lot of matches that count towards these rankings, but I feel like you got to do something a little bit different in order to give it another level of importance.
Okay. Let's talk tags real quick before we move on. The Bucks, the champions at 8-0 in 2021. Varsity Blondes, number 1 contenders with 4 losses, 13-4. The Acclaimed, I'm 11-3. Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. Number 3 team, Private Party, 6-1. FTR, undefeated at 4-0, former champions. And then Santana and Ortiz at 5-2. Let us talk about the card coming up tonight on AEW. It's loaded. Andrade Idolo, excuse me. It's probably an idol with an O on it. Idolo sits down with JR. He has a great look. I feel it's very Alberto Del Rio-ish, but it's okay. I think he'll make it his own. Penta El Zero Miedo, Eddie Kingston, and Frankie Kazarian taking on the AEW World Tag Team Champion Matt Jackson and the Good Brothers. We're getting $1 and 2 brothers in that match. Orange Cassidy with the Best Friends and Chris Statlander, the aforementioned, taking on Cesar Bonani with the Wingmen. Cody Rhodes and Brock Anderson, who looks just like Arn Anderson, versus QT Marshall and Aaron Solo. A handicap match, Darby Allin will take on the team of Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. And then the main event, Hager, Wardlow in the MMA cage. Your thoughts on tonight's action?
Yeah, I'm most curious by the main event. It's thing of it is, I think you got to protect Hager. He's undefeated in actual
He can't
shoot
lose in this.
MMA. Now he can't lose. He can't lose. He can't lose in a worked fight. And then at that point, what do? Do you say, well, he lost on TV, but he's still undefeated and shoot? No, you can't do that.
He can't lose in this.
Yeah,
either
man,
interference
I honestly,
or he wins clean.
I wish they left the cage gimmick out of it. I really do. I think that there's interest in Hager and Wardlow, and anytime you start trying to throw something like this, unfortunately, it does feel a little brawl for all. I hope they'll make it work, but they got to be careful and they got to watch their step here because it could. There is the potential where this doesn't come across that great, but I've got. I trust that AEW will pull it off and make it mean something.
Okay. Penta El Zero Miedo, Kingston, and Kazarian against Matt Jackson and the Buenos Hermanos.
Yeah. I think
why are we only getting $1?
Yeah. It's a good question. I think maybe so we can showcase the Good Brothers a little bit more. Who knows?
It's a Good Brother summer here in AEW.
That's what I hear.
It is a Good Brother summer. That Brock Anderson, holy smokes, he looks just like his dad. I mean, I don't know how old he is, but he looks like he's been in the business for 20 years.
Do you know what would have been a great way to troll everybody? And I'd have gotten a laugh out of it. You don't announce Brock Anderson's appearance like you had a couple of weeks ago, and then all of a sudden you have somebody in ring. Maybe it's Kenny Omega cutting a promo. Lights go dark, some music plays, and all you see is Brock across the screen. And then you wait for the pop, and then you hear Anderson.
Oh, wait, who's Brock Anderson? Oh, boy, he looks like Arn Anderson. That is boy. Yeah. That would be funny. It'd be corny, but it would be funny.
People would get pissed off.
Super pissed off. Let's talk about tonight's Smackdown / this Sunday's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Matthew Thomas, you were supposed to have Roman Reigns take on Rey Mysterio in the cell on Sunday. You have Roman Reigns, right? You're a defending champion there. You have the champion
it's part of
both
Team
brands.
Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, you have the men's champion for both brands. You were going to take on my guy, Rey Mysterio, and ironically, on Sunday, you were going to take on my guy, Drew McIntyre.
Yes.
That's not happening.
There's a lot of Meathead versus Matthew going on.
That's right. That's the M&M. That's not happening anymore. That Rey Mysterio Roman Reigns match has been bumped to tonight. Tonight, Rey Mysterio and Roman Reigns in Hell in a Cell on SmackDown. Thoughts?
I'm confused. I can't imagine that this is the actual match. I think we still have a match of significance for SmackDown inside that cell take place on Sunday.
I want to hear something funny. So WWE.com only has 4 official matches announced for the pay-per-view. There was 5, and they took one off.
It's a small card, man. And then you take that away, so you've got 4. Yeah, I don't know how to read this. I mean, one would think you don't get this exact match on Sunday. Maybe you get the addition of an Uso and Dominic, and have a tag match. But I don't. That doesn't really appeal to me or do anything for me. And
so what you're saying is maybe they shouldn't have released talent and they'd have more people to put on a show.
Yeah.
Maybe they could have put an Aleister Black and a Big E.
Yep.
Maybe they could have had Braun Strowman versus somebody.
Or do we?
Where's RK Bro?
Yeah, I don't know. There's no money. There's no Money in the Bank floating around now, is it? That's burned up.
Money in the Bank is next. Yeah, those briefcases have been cashed in, but Money in the Bank is next month, and it will be in front of a live audience. So, I mean, are they just kind of sandbagging us right now, saving all the good stuff for the fans?
Who knows, man? Yeah, this is I don't recall.
This is ECW December to Dismember is what it feels like.
Yeah, I don't recall anything, quite like this for a long time.
We're crapping all over it, but I want to see Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair in the Hell in a Cell.
Oh, yeah, but that's just a regular match, right? That's not a cell match, correct?
It's not in the cell. I want to see it in the cell.
Yeah.
There should be, honestly, it should have been, either just one men's and one women's, or it should have been both men and both women in the cell.
Yeah. Here's the thing, man. I don't even know where to begin to to predict this thing goes, because it's just such an odd decision, and it's such an odd decision putting. It's not even this match we're moving up. It is a match that you've got to have that structure there and that structure built, and you're going to do it on Friday Night SmackDown for no apparent reason.
Well, it's not like they're not doing the pay-per-view at the same building in 2 days.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, and like we talked about off air, you didn't sell any tickets because of this. So you can really do what you want to. Like, you can put everything on SmackDown and then just have a game show or something.
Fox is getting pissy with WWE because they're not pulling the ratings they should.
It could be, you know, and I was trying to think, like,
does Fox get out of the deal when they have the chance?
Let me ask you this. I mean, is it just, if you were to really read into this hard, you could probably say that, I mean, they're opposing AEW, right? So maybe they're trying to pop, but they're not on opposite though. They're different times. That's the thing.
Right.
Huh. I don't know. This doesn't make
sense. So they're trying to create a great lead-in for AEW? Is that what it is?
Probably. What's airing on Fox after SmackDown? Is it like a really cool new show?
Because the Fox network was always about going an hour early and letting Fox affiliates do an extra hour of local news.
Yeah. Maybe they got a really big freaking local news episode coming up.
Coming up next on Fox 6 Milwaukee.
Maybe they know.
Terror in the zoo.
Maybe they know a man's going to bite a dog tomorrow night or tonight.
Monkeys masturbating behind cages. Yeah, that's it. It's sweeps week.
Yeah, this is strange to call it, but you know what? I'm actually really intrigued because I have no idea.
Yeah, who knows? Here's the matches announced now for the proper Hell in a Cell, and they have to put on a match during the pre-show, otherwise they're going to be looking at those commentating table for an hour. Lashley and McIntyre, Hell in a Cell. I want to hear your predictions. 1, is this or is this not the last time that these guys are going to go? 2, who wins?
I think Lashley's coming out with it, because if you were going to put it back on Drew, my goodness, man, wait another month and put it back on him in front of people. I don't see this really going any other way other than Lashley getting the victory.
Okay. Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's Championship. Is the Rhea Ripley experiment over?
Not quite yet. I think
because Rhea Ripley's only wrestled Asuka for 4 of the last 5 weeks.
Yeah. Rhea Ripley's in a strange place, and I mean, it's not completely undue to the crazy environment and not having any fans, but Rhea's just been kind of floating in this limbo where
she's not the face on the poster.
Yeah, when they first brought her in prior to Mania, you know, she was kind of a heel for a week or 2, and then she's been kind of in this weird spot. And you really, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, it's been this weird thing where Nikki Cross has kind of been this pawn, and, you know, in there in the middle.
Them, right.
Yeah. So, no, I think she retains, and I think she needs to retain to further build her, because she lost to Charlotte at Mania last year. I think this really does help Rhea. But then again, you may very well go her and Charlotte again at Money in the Bank, because, you know, I'm not seeing a lot of competitors on the Raw brand for Rhea after Charlotte.
Sasha Banks needs to come back. She's on the poster.
Becky needs to come back.
Becky needs to come back as well. And Becky's got to be ready. I mean, the baby's born, the baby's healthy. Let's get to work. SmackDown Women's Champion Bianca Belair and Bayley. Bianca on the poster, but is it the Karen of the WWE time to get the belt back?
Not yet. I think
because there's nothing there either.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think Bayley's kind of playing a placeholder position right now. And again, Bayley has, Bayley's got more of a character now than she's had at any point during her main roster or really NXT run, because, you know, that character was over in NXT, but side ponytail, balloons and stuff. I mean, I think this is a much more substantial Bayley character. So Bayley's doing a great job in that, but I think you put Bayley in the ring, give her talk show. She doesn't need that title right now. You've got to...
You need to knock it off with the people that don't need titles, because you already ruined the match for me last Sunday.
I did, didn't I? I did. Here's the thing with both, not Sasha, my goodness, Bianca, and also with Rhea Ripley, you've got 2 pretty new talents that you put titles on at WrestleMania. I think you are pretty much guaranteeing somewhat of a substantial run for both of them, because if you go in a different direction now, it's going to read, lack of trust and lack of faith in that person's title run. And I feel like,
However, I want to flip the script on you. When they go
yeah,
back to having to sell these buildings, they need stars on the top of the card. And I
yeah,
think putting the belts on Charlotte, putting the belt on Karen, Sasha, Becky, Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns is going to keep the belt. You have to have the belts on the people that sell the tickets.
the other thing is, especially in the case of the women's division, I mean, having your sympathetic baby faces chase, I mean, that you get more tickets and more investment in the storyline where you do have some of the more established names on top, and then having that baby face
Where's
chase
Ronda
as well,
Rousey?
too. Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of top profile female talent.
Call Brock Anderson.
Is or maybe Brock Lesnar goes intergender.
Well, I mean, that was a crazy weekend once in Minnesota. Speaking of characters, Alexa Bliss is going to have a pay-per-view match against Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, I mean, I think Alexa is probably picking up the win here. Although, I tell you, man, that's a program I would not mind seeing. You put you put Rhea past Charlotte this weekend. Give me Rhea and Shayna. I would enjoy that.
Shayna owned her in NXT, though.
Yeah. Hey, you've got a built-in storyline there.
Okay. The promo picture for Alexa and Shayna, it's the happy Alexa Bliss, not the one with the black eyeliners.
I don't know. I will say
Bray Wyatt coming back?
As much as I have enjoyed what they have done with Alexa's character, Alexa minus the Fiend and not flanked by the Fiend, I'm losing a bit of interest. Like, this thing worked because she was a partner with Bray Wyatt, and I'm starting to lose a little bit of steam on it with the Fiend being gone for so long.
I understand. All right. It is going to be live, 8 Eastern, 7 Central on the Peacock. Pre-show, I would assume, is starting at 6 Eastern, or 6 Central, 7 Eastern. So we're going to have post-show coverage Monday morning with Linda Kay. I believe it's Linda Kay. We'll have to check the schedule on that one.
So what have you found? I heard rumors on the street. I did not watch NXT Live last week, but I heard rumors on the street that you can potentially pause and rewind the Peacock app. Is that correct?
That, I was watching live because they so poorly promoted the start time of the show again. We're back to 8 Eastern, 7 Central when we were doing, 7 Central or 7 Eastern, 6 Central for so long. And I just had it on live. But I have heard that Rewind and Fast Forward was available.
And yeah, that's pretty cool.
So we'll have to see. Again, Matthew, I believe that it's going to be McIntyre. It'll be Rhea Ripley losing to Charlotte Flair.
Oh,
Bayley losing to Bianca.
Yeah.
And then Alexa Bliss defeating.
So we agree on 2 and disagree on 2. Well, funny enough, whichever one of us is correct on the 2 we disagree on walks away with the winner's purse of points in the PWR draft.
That's right. I think I'm winning a championship, and I think that I'm winning a championship. I think Drew and Charlotte are going to win championships.
I think a lot of things, but we'll see what happens.
So that's the week for Matthew Thomas, for Linda Kay. I'm the man they call Meathead. Hey, thanks for stopping by. We will talk to you Monday morning. So long, everyone.